since the season ended, we've had 2 open camps, open tryouts, with approximately 65 to 70 players showing up for each one of them. And we didn't have any of our returning players at those camps. And then from those 2 camps, what we did was we invited 60 players to our invitation camp, and 12 of our returning players will also be at that camp. So in essence, we're going to have 60 players there, including the 12 that are returning. And from that, we will have a look at our roster and probably pare down to 30. And this is all taking place next week. And then following that, we can actually get down to 25. We'll have to be down to 25 before we go to Blaine, Minnesota, and play in our opening tournaments in Blaine, which is the 15th, I think, of September. So we've been doing a lot of work behind the scenes, again, just getting the team prepped and ready and to hit the ice. All the players that have been invited back have got workout sheets and, are doing things. And in talking with, Coach Mo, he was telling me that the camps that we had were some good quality skaters. Looks like we're going to have a larger team than we had last year based on the turnouts that we had as far as size goes. And he said it looks like it's a pretty quick team. It'll be a fast team. So coming out of it, he feels that we're actually going to go on the ice with a much stronger team than we started with last year. And that's not to suggest that we're going to end up with as strong a team as we had last year. Although with the system that he uses, which is primarily system-based team play, that's what got us as far as we did this year. This past year was playing a system, and then everyone on the team contributed where they needed to and when they needed to. So I don't think that's going to change. We just have approximately 12 to 13 new players coming on board with us. We went all the way. We took the long way there, and I think had we not had to take the long way, we would have actually won everything. We were about 3 minutes and 50 seconds away from winning everything, and then we had 2 lapses, fortunately by 2 of our best players, and they were just mental errors. They were tired. We had played at that point, I believe it was 11 games in 13 nights. So our guys were exhausted. And the team we played against had a night off or 2 nights off, resting and getting ready. Plus, they didn't have to play all the play-in games. We had to play a play-in game, and then we had to play a qualifier, and on and on and on. So played a lot more games, but I was really proud of our players, especially the leaders on our team, and most notably Robert Tanizak, from Lapeer, just an incredible human being, was a leader on the team, and that was shown by the fact that he goes to West Point, and he had other choices, by the way, which was quite intriguing. Some of his other choices were also D1 schools, but he elected to take West Point because that's just the kind of character that he is. Not only a great goalie, but a good leader. We're really proud of him. And then, of course, there are a number of other players that ended up leaving us. Killian's gone off to, and I can't remember all the names of the colleges, but Killian's gone into a pre-med program, and I think it was St. Lawrence. I can't remember exactly which one it was, but he wanted to go into medicine, so he's heading off to the college to offer the pre-med program. And another one of the players is off to Michigan. I know we had one up to state. Yep. And then a few others. I truly can't recall, but yes, that is correct. One there too. So in essence, every one of our players, I believe, has landed in a college, D1 or D3 college somewhere, and is playing hockey this year.
Wow.
For that college. I don't think that we have a single player that aged out that is not going to lace the skates up in a college this year. And, of course, some of them that did not age out have gone to colleges, which really I think is why we ended up with such a two strong open camps. We had players that saw what Coach Mo, Coach Mantha can do for them, and the scouts watch them. And that's the other thing is that, Coach gets calls from various scouts in different colleges and coaches that are, hey, how's your roster looking, and did you use a defenseman? I've got somebody I'd like to send you to have a look at, and if you can keep him on your squad for a year or two, because we're looking to bring him to our place. That's the kind of discussions that we had. In fact, I watched the game with Red Berenson, and that's the exact discussion he had with me. He was there to watch one of his players that he'd bring into their team next year, and he noted another player on the team that he was quite impressed with, and asked me some questions about him. I said, well, I'll get Coach Mo to get together with you on it. And then he immediately said, we're glad that you fellows are here, and you got Coach Mantha. We have the utmost respect for him, and if we have some players that we know can use his discipline and his coaching. So that was the conversation I had with this man, and I was really impressed. He stayed for the entire game and stood there, signed autographs for people, and didn't want to go. And I offered him to go sit upstairs someplace, and he said, no, I'll just mingle around here. I want to hear the chatter and see what's going on. So, what I think is going to, the people within the community are going to start to see a noticeable influx of college scouts. I mean, we had a lot in there last year, but there'll even be more this year because of how well we did in the system, and the fact also that the boys were they were just incredible citizens. We were so proud of them. And the other thing is that when a college comes looking for a player, I sat downstairs many an evening where a college would be there, and the first question out of their mouths to Coach Mantha is, what's the kid like? And what they mean by that is, what's he like on the bus? What's he like at the billet home that he's living with, the family that he lives with? What's he like in the restaurants? What's he like on the road? What's he like in the hotels? Does he show up to practice on time? What's he like, as far as working out? Does he get involved in the community events that you guys have sponsored and get going? Tell me a bit about the kid. Because they already know how he can play hockey. They watch him do that. But they're looking for the character adaptation so that they can take that player into their mix. So that's really why the boys last year and this year even more so are going to be involved in the community in a lot of different community events, charitable work, be it working at soup kitchens, helping out in the food drives, visiting the hospital at Hurley, working with the kids in the school, whatever it may be, at Whaley House, whatever it may be, they're going to be involved because that's part of their training and part of their development, getting them ready to sit down and speak with a college recruiter about who they are and what they do.